Hello, I'm Ethan, and today we're reopening the Fear Collective to get into the scares and subtext of 2021's Spiral from the Book of Saw. Directed by Darren Lynn Bousman, who is returning to the franchise after directing Saw 2, 3, and 4. Spiral stars Chris Rock, Max Minghella, and Samuel L. Jackson. And it basically reopens the franchise after 2017's Jigsaw, which kind of came and went without much fanfare or a real lasting imprint on the horrorscape. Given that 4 years have passed and Chris Rock is starring, I really wasn't sure what to expect from this film, especially because it very clearly differentiates itself from the rest of the franchise in the title. There's mention of a book, which I didn't really know was a thing, still don't know. But from the opening sequence, it is established that this is in fact a Saw film with a very gnarly trap scene that confidently declares that Saw is back and bloodier than ever. The first act, though, is my favorite part of the film because while it starts off confidently violent, it quickly shifts gears to a Chris Rock showcase wherein his comedic chops are on full display. The script is witty and biting, introducing more humor to the franchise than has ever really been seen, and with a superstar comedian at the helm, I was expecting as much. It reminded me a lot of the 2018 Halloween, which has a very comedic through line that is no doubt influenced by the comic Danny McBride, who was a co-writer of that film. The humor unfortunately doesn't always work in the film because as the film progresses and things get more violent, like really violent, the film falters a bit when it tries to oscillate between ironic cop procedural and extreme horror cinema. Spiral offers up some shockingly violent kills, which I guess shouldn't surprise me given that this is a Saw film, but like I said, I wasn't entirely sure what we would be getting, especially because I was expecting them to lean into the cop aspect of things, but I wasn't sure that trap sequences would be the bread and butter of this film, but they are. And really, that's where the film kind of starts to deflate for me because as we get through the third act, things just start to feel like any other Saw film. I could sense that the writers were purposely leaving open ends to some characters and plot points as if to leave the door open for sequel tie-ins and callbacks, which are sort of a staple of the Saw franchise. It felt much more deliberate and calculated here, though, and I honestly don't want to see a movie do that much work. Things like that should feel effortless and seamless, and I'm not sure that the writers really knew how to quite harness such subtlety. This movie overall is loud, it's bloody, it's bombastic, and certainly flawed, especially in the last half of the film. That said, I still enjoyed myself in the theater, and I was thankful to see such confident, violent kill sequences in a 2021 horror film when it feels like everyone is kind of aiming to be elevated. This film is super reminiscent of horror in the early aughts, and I think it will please longtime franchise fans who show up to a Saw film with really only one box to tick. I'm going to rate Spiral a 6 out of 10. I will add it to my collection because I own the rest of the franchise, and I could see myself revisiting this one in the future, even despite its flaws. That's going to be it for me today, guys. Leave a comment letting me know what film you would like to see me review in the future. And until then, the collective is now closed.